Joseph Smith claimed divine visions, peered into a hat to uncover secrets, and even said a golden plaque was delivered to him by a heavenly messenger.
And he says he looked through these stones at the Egyptian engravings on these golden plates, and they would turn into English.
But could these rituals and mysterious objects hint at something deeper, something hidden? What was the real inspiration behind these practices, and why do they seem so eerily familiar to other secretive traditions? Stay with us as we uncover the intriguing truth behind Joseph Smith's extraordinary claims.
So one of the things that's interesting is Mormons and Masons often get connected because Joseph Smith was a Mason. He became a first-degree Mason, and he says right in his journal, the number of Masons grew dramatically in the Navajo Lodge, eventually growing to some 1,500 members, only 2,072 in the rest of the United States. So at one point, and this is a book written by Mormons that you're seeing on the screen there. Wow. This is them trying to set the record straight, and I'm quoting right from the book. In a footnote.
So there's a lot of crossover with Freemasonry and Mormonism.
The idea of a lodge and temple practices, a lot of that seems to have been derived or has similar links or inspired, or however you want to put that, from Joseph Smith's Masonic connection.
Wow. Interesting.
So that one's just interesting. You can see here, it says in Tuesday, March 15, it says, I officiated as Grand Chaplain at the installation of the Nauvoo Lodge of Freemasons at the grove near the temple. In the evening, I received the first degree. And so if you go on, so that was Tuesday, March 15th. Now, Wednesday, March 16th, next day, I was at the Masonic Lodge and rose to the sublime degree. So he jumped more levels and degrees than anybody I've ever read about.
So what degree did he make it to? Do you know?
That's debatable. 32nd.
I mean, you pretty much know what's going on behind the curtain in the 30s there.
Yeah, so he jumped very, very rapidly.
Wow. That's interesting.
Which is kind of interesting. And even, so this is a quote from Jonathan Blanchard. He was a former 33rd degree Freemason of the Scottish Rite. He gives an interesting insight. He says, its legend in the 14th degree initiation says that the real name of God was lost till it was found by the Masons, engraved on 3-cornered gold plates in the ruins of Enoch, who's a prophet in the Book of Mormon. Whether the Mormon Joseph Smith, who was a Mason, took this story of gold plates from this on or invented a like legend of his own, the two are similar in origin, nature, and effect. They both utterly destroy Christianity while pretending to favor and expand it.
Oh, that's interesting.
So this was from a Mason. He says, you know, when he looked at Mormonism, he's like, wow, what Joseph Smith did, it sounds just like what I learned in Masonry.
So he's kind of validating, like, man, Mormonism must be real because it kind of lines up with what...
Yeah, so there's a similar story there. So, you know, the reason why people say they're tied and there's confusion, it is because there are quotes out there like this that show that he did have those links.
Wow.
Now, is this the same Book of Enoch, like the Book of Enoch that I see some people quoting out of?
Apocryphal.
Yeah.
Apocryphal Book of Enoch.
Does that come from Mormonism?
No.
Where's this Book of Enoch?
Do Mormons recognize the Book of Enoch as canon?
So pseudepigrapha is an interesting topic, and the Apocrypha. So pseudepigrapha, that means they had a false name on it. So Enoch, they don't believe the Book of Enoch was really written by Enoch because it didn't appear till way later.
Gotcha.
And so there's pseudepigraphic books. So it's interesting because Joseph Smith had to correct the Bible, but when he was asked about the pseudepigrapha, he said there's nothing wrong with it.
Wow.
Oh, weird.
And so he didn't correct it. So it's kind of interesting, and that's right in Doctrine and Covenants.
And what is that word? I've never heard of that. Pseudepigrapha.
Pseudepigrapha, it's pseudo, false, figura, signature, false signature. That's where it comes from. So there's a number of books out there that are pseudepigrapha, meaning someone wrote it as though they were someone else pretending to give it credibility.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So...
Could it be Satan?